that will protect Nigerians with disabilities from discrimination and harmful practices. These bills have been passed for 4 times. Regrettably, the former president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, denied it assent. Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan denied it assent 2 times. In 2015, while the campaign was going on, the ruling APC assured us that they are going to pass the safety bill and they are also going to sign it into law. As I speak to you, this bill was passed in 2016 by both chambers. Between 2016 and today, we have been having issues around ensuring that this bill is transmitted to the president for assent.
The president, who condemned in strong terms the discrimination faced by people with disability in the country, promised that the union will collaborate with CCD to ensure justice is done to the disability bill.
We share your grief, we share your challenges, we share also your aspiration, because as you said, we have many workers that are also disabled persons, and therefore we will not allow a situation where they are discriminated, either before employment or during employment. I think all human beings are created equal under the law and under the Constitution of the Federal Republic. Therefore, the Constitution does not allow discrimination. The Constitution also does not allow undermining the ability of people with disabilities. So I want to assure you that you have come to the right place, because this is an institution that have always stood by the people, especially the downtrodden and people that have challenges.
The NLC president, Ayuba Waba, speaking there. And now in Ondo State, the organized labor unions in Ondo State have threatened to commence strike on Tuesday if the government fails to pay the backlog of salary arrears. The workers asked Governor Rotimi Akeredolu to pay the backlog from 20 billion naira per risk refund that the state received from the federal government recently. The workers accused the governor of not consulting the labor unions on the release of the Paris Club refund to the state, as both parties had earlier agreed. According to the workers, industrial peace in the state might not be guaranteed if the government fails to pay the outstanding salaries on Tuesday, as they threaten to resume the strike suspended on June 2016 in the state. And now, an Abuja-based lawyer, Abubakar Sani, has filed a suit before the Federal High Court in Kano, praying the courts to stop the Kano State House of Assembly from continuing its ongoing investigation into the bribery allegations leveled against the governor of the state, Abdullahi Ganduje. Sani, in a suit which was filed on November 9th, contended that the House of Assembly lacks the power to carry out such a probe. He also urged the courts to hold that the Code of Conduct is the only body constitutionally competent to undertake such an investigation on the governor. And now, the acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, says the agency is seeking the extradition of the former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Desiani Alison Madueke, because the national medicines in Nigeria. This appeal was made by some practitioners and other Nigerians in an interview with SuperScreen's in Kiruka, Ibe.
Traditional medicines can be seen as medicines formulated from trees and plants for the treatment of some illness. These traditional medicines have played major roles in the world healthcare, with about 80% of Africans depending on phytomedicine. The usage of plants and its extracts or plant-derived pure chemicals to treat diseases in Nigeria have become a therapeutical modality which has stood the test of time. But it appears there are some problems limiting the development of phytomedicine. These herbal medical practitioners, speaking with SuperScreen television, highlights major constraints to traditional medicine in Nigeria, while calling for government's support.
The response has been fairly good because people are beginning to realize the difference between natural products and chemically formulated products. One of the challenges we have is that our orthodox medical practitioners believe so much on the British and American pharmacopoeia, and therefore if you try to tell them about some of these locally made products, they're not convinced and they don't want to use them. But now there are a group of doctors who have gone into the ethnic medicine, that is studying the medicines that are produced locally, and therefore now we have medical doctors that are also using traditionally produced products.
A lot of people who travel outside the country to look for medication, I think they really have a very wrong notion. Because, to be candid, we have billions of mineral resources, billions of raw materials to actually serve the entire world. I think Nigeria is richly blessed. So many quack herbal medicine practitioners abound. But then I think the government is being careful, and that is why, to some extent, they choose to license the operators before we can actually operate.
The government should give support to those that are doing it. With little or no more, little support, we can get to the top.
Speaking on the acceptance of traditional medicines, these Nigerians, in their comparison of traditional and orthodox medicines, say traditional medicines are preferable.
Herbal medicine is quite unique. It's quite essential in treating most of the probably infections, probably most of the illness and all of that is quite strengthening in healings.
They're more natural, and I think the body tolerates them more, But orthodox medicine seems to be more efficient, They seem to work better, faster, but I think they have more side effects, in the long run.
Traditional medicine is something that came from our own roots, where we belong to. But the orthodox medicine is refined tradition medicine from the white people. If we can refine our own too as their own, our own will be the best.
If health is wealth, what is important then is staying healthy, and so whichever works for individuals should be embraced. Nkiruka Ibe reporting for SuperScreen TV News.
And now, a federal high court in Lagos has revoked the bail granted to a former governor of Abia State, Orji Uzor, flouting court orders. The presiding judge, Justice Mohammed Idris, revoked the former governor's bail for failure to appear in court for his trial. The judge said it is clear that Kalu disobeyed the court order, and he maintained that no one, whether high or low, rich or poor, can disobey a valid order of the court and expect such a court to show mercy. He also ordered that when Kalu returns to the country, he must report to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, with all his travel documents. The judge also ruled that the EFCC should effect his arrest once Kalu failed to submit himself to the anti-graft agency. The case has, however, been adjourned to January 23, 2019 for further trial. And now, a former gubernatorial aspirant under the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Kaduna State, Mohammed Sani Bello, has formally dumped the party. Sani Bello, who announced the decision at a media conference in Kaduna, said he left because of the unending mistrust between him and the state leadership of the party and its governorship candidate, Isa Ashiru. According to him, the mistrust emanated from the refusal of the party leaders in the state to put the term of consensus, which led to his stepping down for Ashiru into writing prior to the party's gubernatorial primaries. And now the Nigerian army has appointed a new commander to lead the fight against Boko Haram jihadists in the northeast, where attacks on military targets have spiked in recent months. According to an army statement released at the weekend, Major General Benson Akinroloyu has replaced Major General Abba Diko as head of Operation Lafia Dole. Akinroloyu becomes the 5th commander in 2 years to head the fight against the insurgents who have staged a series of attacks on military bases, killing dozens of the Nigerian army. You're watching SuperScreen's News at 10. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll give you some stories from the business world. Stay with us. Welcome back. Many thanks for staying with us. And now for some business stories. The Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udoma, says the federal government has reactivated the Export Expansion Grant with a sum of 13.28 billion naira to stimulate the exports of locally produced goods. He said the amount was captured in the 2018 budget being implemented by the federal government. The EEG is an initiative of the federal government designed to encourage exporters of non-oil products, including agro-commodities, in order to cushion the effects of infrastructural deficiencies and reduce the overall unit cost of production. It was introduced through the Export Incentives and Miscellaneous Provisions Act, CAP 118 of the 1986, to enhance the contribution of non-oil exports to the national economy. And now the Shagamu-Lagos end of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway project will be completed by 2021. Operations Manager Julius Berger Tam Olaf, who disclosed this to the Senate Committee on Works, led by its chairman Kabiru Gaya, said the project was to be completed in 2017, was stalled due to the paucity of funds and the recent expansion. Gaya and other members of the committee who were on an oversight visit to the road projects in Lagos, however, said they were not happy about the slow pace of work despite the efforts and funds that had been pumped into it. According to him, the federal government has spent a total money on the road and others across the country and has moved the cost of road infrastructure from 500 billion to 600 billion naira in the 2019 budget to accommodate more road constructions. And now the Nigerian Stock Exchange has sanctioned 8 banks with fines totaling 102.7 million naira for failing to file their financial statements at the regulatory date. The exchange launched its new sanction regime for the delay in submission of companies' results on January 1st, 2018, saying companies might pay fines ranging from 100,000 naira to more than 100 million naira as penalties for delay in the submission of the corporate earnings reports. The NSE requires quoted companies to file their unaudited quarterly accounts not later than 30 calendar days after the relevant quarter. Under the new rules, late submission attracts 9 million naira in the first 90 days, 18 million naira in the next 90 days, and 400,000 per day until the end of the submission day. We'll take another break now. When we return, we'll give you some stories from the foreign and the sports scene. Stay with us.